So a little bit of an amendment to Baylor's spring game to the point where calling it a spring game would be a misnomer. That's coming up this Saturday, April 20th. It is still at McLean Stadium. It's the same time, high noon on the Brazos, but the athletic department announced today that it wouldn't be a game, that it's really going to be run like a normal practice. So if you can't make it out to McLean, sorry, because it's not going to be streamed. It's not going to be televised because it's a practice, not a game. This is not an unheard of tactic. Other schools have done that. It's not like an every year thing. No school that I know of is like every year we're not going to do a spring game. But it happens here and there. We didn't really hear a reason as to why. There's several reasons as to why we could speculate on. But overall, my first impression was bummer, dude. Like, that's lame. It's not going to be a spring game. Who's going to go? I mean, I'm going to go. I'm going to go, but like I get it. So it could be any number of things. I mean, they're installing a whole new offense. They might not want to show their hand in terms of with players entering the transfer portal. Like, they might not want to put out there who their starters are going to be, what that is all going to be about. They'll handle those reps internally and in practice. I don't know why, but it does stink for us, the fans, who look forward to this event. This is for football sickos and fans of the Baylor Bears. You come out and this is a way to get excited. Baylor, it's at the end of a basketball season, obviously in April. It's after the basketball season. Baylor's not a huge baseball school, even when they're good, which they're coming around the corner. So this is something that we look forward to at Baylor and in Texas is this way to see the team showcase its stuff in a game setting that we actually can kind of make sense of. I know spring games have tons of random points that they give out. You don't know what is a sack, what isn't, what scores points. You got to follow along. But it is actually giving you an 11 on 11, right? That's what you care about. And instead, what we're going to see on Saturday is drills, and more drills. And if you're a football person, of course you can make out good versus bad on the drills, but we're not even going to see a scrimmage in this thing. We're not even going to see a 7-on-7 from what I'm reading. So the big thing that I was looking forward to is looking at these quarterbacks, right? This is a quarterback battle. It's a new offense. Receivers, absolutely, as well, because you brought in a couple of those. I want to see what it looks like in real time, 11 on 11, or at worst 7 on 7, just to see the ball skills that these guys have, the arm talent on the quarterback, the ball skills on the receivers. That's what you look forward to in a spring game. You're just looking at things that could be taken away as positives. But it's tougher to understand what's positive and what's negative if you're watching a practice. And maybe from the Baylor athletic side, that's great. But from the fan standpoint, in terms of people want to come out and go to the games, I don't think it is. I don't think it's. I'll still be there. And if you had already made the plans, I'd encourage you to still come out and support these guys. But it sounds like to me, if they had the option of not doing it at all, that they just wouldn't do it. And that's just too bad. That's just too bad. Again, I can understand where they're coming from here, and there's any number of reasons as to why they would do that, but everyone else in the country does it for the most part. Schools who don't know who their starting quarterback's going to be, schools that might be dipping into the transfer portal for starters. They still do this game. So I think it stinks for the fans. I think it's another. I know it's not their intent, but it could alienate the fans a little bit. Who are planning their day or their weekend around coming to this, and now it's not a game anymore. I think the ultimate thing from a fan standpoint is we're just looking to get excited, man. Because everything the last essentially 2 years of this program has been negative. It's 2 losing seasons, one of which was a catastrophic failure in 2023. And the spring game is an opportunity to come out, nice weather, support your team in the stadium and get excited about something. Get on board with Dave Aranda calling the plays on defense. Get on board with this throwback style of offense where you're airing it out, points on the boards, make them defend every blade of grass. You want to get excited about who's going to be the quarterback delivering the ball to those guys because we don't know who it is yet. And that's unfortunate that that's not what it's going to be. It is still a chance for you to see your favorite players up close and personal. I'll give it that because I went to NFL training camps every single year because growing up as a kid, you couldn't buy Patriots tickets. You had to basically inherit them. So that was a way to see your guys up close and personal. They did also do 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s, which was obviously the best part of it. But I will say if that's someone like, you can't make it out to a lot of Baylor games, this is a great way to kind of see them up close and personal and see how this coaching staff is coaching them up. I don't know if this will lend itself to more criticism or more excitement, but it's just a bummer that you won't be able to watch this on ESPN Plus if you can't make it out. It's a bummer for me as someone who would go back and watch those, for shows like this and talk about previewing the season, but no official spring game. It is just another spring practice on Saturday. Come on out. They will have, and I will mention this, they do have like a day of events going on. So they will still be wearing the game colors, green and gold. You'll see that, but also you can see the alumni cook-off, which happens before the spring game. It starts at 9 a.m. at the McLean Stadium Amphitheater. It's got somewhere between 10 and 15 teams. Pete Friedberg, the old Baylor defensive coordinator, UMHB coach. Glenn Moore, Baylor's all-time winningest coach in softball, is out there. And Mo Porter, the former Baylor offensive lineman, will be out there as well. Would love to actually get his take on practice as someone who played in this kind of offense. And, the offensive line's a big question mark. Would love to actually talk to him about that. But that's something, come in, get excited, see some, hopefully you get a taste of some of that great barbecue they'll have cooking up. They'll also have the Michael Johnson Invitational, which usually lines up with this. That's obviously a big deal. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll have a softball home game as well, if I'm not mistaken on that. Yeah, all weekend. And baseball will be at home all weekend. So it's still a great time to come out, support the Bears in a couple of different sports. Just honestly kind of lame that it's not an actual game. That certainly changes what I'm looking forward to on this Saturday and what to look for from this team. But we'll see. We'll see. It will be an interesting perspective to just kind of see them in a practice. Being on the Matt Mosley show during the afternoon, I don't get to go out to those open practices to the media, open to the media practices, I should say. So that will be at least interesting in that respect to take a look. But no spring game for the Bears. Better luck next year in that department. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. We really appreciate that. And if you want to keep up to date on all the Baylor sports news, be sure to give us a like and ring the notification bell because we are your first listen today and every day. We are your exclusive home for nothing but Baylor sports content 5 days a week that's not coming straight from the university. Be sure to follow us here on YouTube and also wherever you get your podcasts and on Twitter as well at Locked On Baylor. Thanks so much again. Have a good one and sick 'em.